Hello, my Bill 5000 Nation. How's everyone doing today? Hopefully, everyone's having a great day. If not, I hope it gets better from here. We are back with another That Chapter. This one is titled The Bizarre Anna Walsh Affair. Alright, I'm excited for today's story. Let's go ahead and get into it. Go ahead, turn them lights down low, put on something comfy, kill up with someone special. Let's get... I don't know, let's get intrigued. I'm intrigued. Yeah, I'm intrigued. Alright.
Hey you, and welcome. My name is Mike, and in this old video...
Hello, Mike. How have you been, bud?
We're gonna go through one of them stories that's, I'm tempted to title this video, Really? Really? Because this guy, Brian Walsh is his name, is possibly one of the most stupid people I've come across in a while. It would be hilarious if it wasn't so.
Okay, now that says something, because Mike has come across some dumb in his tales. Oh god.
Well, you know. This story takes us to Boston, Massachusetts, well, Cohasset on the South Shore. The wealthy Walshes lived there, nice old house, nice old life, until, womp, our story begins, which began in
Nice looking little small town, like it,
early January 2023, and kind of went on till when I'm posting this video, because it does not have an ending quite just yet. It has a heck of a lot of that part in the middle, though. Before we get into it, please subscribe to see new That Chapter videos every week, and also please check out the That Chapter podcast to see a whole host of podcast-only stories. But now, let's give it a go.
Give it a go, Mike. Let's go.
Cohasset is a lovely, picturesque little old town of less than 10,000 people, sitting on the southern side of the Massachusetts Bay. And it is the most expensive location on the...
And this is fucking beautiful. Look at all of it. Look at it all. Trees everywhere. As far as the eye could see, man. I mean, look, there's like wildlife everywhere, man. See, I would love to live someplace like that. Where I live, I mean, you do, but you don't. You know, like small little big cities.
South Shore. Look at you. And there, in that grand old town, lived the Walshes, made up of Brian Walsh, his wife Anna Walsh, and their 3 children. Their kids were all quite young. They were between the ages of 2 and 6 years old. Anna, 39 years old, Brian, 46, and they had been married since 2015.
Their faces look familiar. Have we done a story on these people before?
In fact, they married in...
Have we? Nah, have we? They look familiar. They look very familiar.
Serbia, if you can believe that, before heading off to create this beautiful life in this wealthy Boston suburb. See, Anna Walsh, born Anna Lubicic, that Crip, was originally from Belgrade, Serbia. She had a great old education and was a real go-getter.
I would have never guessed that fucking last name either, bud. I didn't know you could do that. Oh, fuck. That's great.
Ambitious. In 2009, she ended up working at the Wheatley Hotel in the Berkshires, Postcard, Western Massachusetts. And there is where she met Brian Walsh. Well, a newspaper back in Serbia actually claims that Anna and Brian, they met while she was cleaning his apartment that he had in Western Mass. So I guess, love hearts fluttered over bleach. See, while Anna worked hard, really hard, for what she had, Brian Walsh, on the other hand, this hand, let's say, he was born into this life of luxury. He was the son of a very prominent New England neurosurgeon, Dr. Thomas Walsh. He himself worked in consulting, it appears. He was a business strategist, a CFO, couldn't really find out much about the companies he supposedly worked for. Like a lot of business consulting, not entirely convinced it's a real thing, but we will see that quite a lot.
I understand. I understand completely.
With Brian Walshe. Kind of made up stuff, maybe,
Oh
just a little.
God.
Anna Walshe, on the other hand, her resume is long, and you know she was going to rise up the ranks of whatever she set her mind to.
Oh,
She'd
yeah.
worked in hotels in Virginia before moving to Western Massachusetts. She worked in DC, Boston, and eventually back to DC. As you can see, she was getting on up there, becoming one of the big dogs in the hotel business, before moving to Tishman Speyer, a global real estate company. Now, when I say real estate, I'm not talking houses here. I'm talking about some of the most iconic buildings in the world, like Rockefeller Center. They owned it. The
Damn.
MetLife Building, skyscrapers in Chicago, Boston, and New York.
What?
And so she was traveling to Washington, D.C.
Bobby Big Digging it. Hell yeah.
a lot, while also at the same time living with her husband Brian, just outside of Boston. And as I said, they would go on to have 3 children together. So
This is gonna get bad. That sounds fucking awesome. Oh God, it's gonna get fucking awful.
pretty good. Seems like Joanna moving from Serbia to the United States, she was living, the American dream.
Oh yeah.
To be very cliche, right now, it swiftly turned into the American nightmare. On the 4th of January, 2023, the Coasset Police Department were called to check on Anna. Tishman Speyer, her employer, they hadn't heard from her, she hadn't shown up for work, and so they were concerned about her, they couldn't get in touch with her at all. And so the police did what you would expect them to do. They drove over to the leafy street the Walshes lived at on the evening of January 4th, 2023.
Oh fuck.
Brian was there. He said he hadn't seen his wife Anna in a couple of days. This is his story. He said that on New Year's Eve, December 31st, a friend had come over, they had dinner, they had drinks, then they'd rang in the New Year, celebrating,
I don't believe shit. I don't believe shit. I don't believe shit.
the New Year together. This friend then left the Walshes' home between 1 a.m. and half 1 a.m., and Brian and Anna, they went to bed shortly after this friend left. Then, the following morning, January 1st, New Year's Day, Anna woke up saying there's some kind of emergency in work, so she had to haul ass down to Washington, D.C. She got up, she got dressed, she got ready, she kissed Brian while he was still in bed, told him, go back to sleep, and then she left the house. Brian said this was between 6 a.m. and 7 a.m. She usually got an Uber, a Lyft, a taxi, whatever, to Logan Airport, so he presumed that's exactly what she did that very morning. That was the last he saw of her till 4 days later, the police came knocking. So a little bit after she left, he got up, he made breakfast.
So he just didn't care that she was gone, or well, what's the situation here? Like, that just seems weird to me. Like, your lady just disappears for a couple days, and you're just like, eh, it's whatever. She does it. She comes back eventually. Well, where's she at? I don't know. She ain't come back yet.
For his 3 boys, he did some grocery shopping. He went to visit his mother, who lived in Swampscott, which is on the opposite side. It's basically on the opposite side of the bay from Coasset. He said that while he was driving to visit his mother, he didn't have his phone with him, so no location data could actually prove where he had been that day. He said one of his kids had hidden it on him. He actually wouldn't find it till the very next day. He also said that while he was driving from Coasset to Swampscott to visit his mother, he got lost during that trip. I mean, you think it'd be kind of hard for him to get lost.
A little
Being a
bit.
native of Boston, and presumably,
Did you forget how to drive around Boston? I can't do Boston. I love Boston accents. I cannot do a Boston accent. I don't even want to try.
making that
Somebody would get offended.
trip quite often, but hey, there you go. I guess these things do happen sometimes. Over the next few days, things were quiet. The kids, they were off school over this winter break, and so he was hanging out with them. Obviously not too concerned about his wife, who he hadn't heard from since the 1st of January when she left that morning. Until then, the police called on the 4th of January.
Just minutes ago, a vigil in Cohasset for Anna Walshe, the mother of 3 who's been missing since New Year's Day. While investigators continue their search, Anna's friends cling to the hope that she'll come home safe.
On the streets and in the neighborhoods of Cohasset, thoughts are with Anna Walshe. Missing more than a week now, and members of the community finding the need to come together.
Cohasset's a small town, so I think for everyone to come together and show their love and support at the end of the day, like I said, she's a mom of 3 boys, so I think it is really nice for the community to do that.
What this community doesn't have and wants is answers. Anna Walshe was last seen early New Year's morning. Her husband telling investigators she was called to Washington, D.C. for a work emergency at her real estate firm. She was reported missing 3 days later.
Well, he said...
Was she called in for emergency at her job, or was that all just boo? Because if it was bull, well, I just now, the title of the video just now dinged.
He said she left for an emergency, so must have been one hell of an emergency, right? Or maybe he was just trying to hide something and failing at it. He had a history, actually, of trying and failing at hiding things. It was a bit of a habit for old Brian Walshe. For example, how about fake paintings? In 2016, Brian Walshe was able to trick a Los Angeles art dealer into purchasing 2 fake Andy Warhol paintings for $80,000. Brian was selling them, where else but on eBay, and they were 2 from Warhol's '78 series called Shadows. Originally listed at $100,000, this art dealer, who was like an expert in Warhol paintings, he just stumbled across them one day, contacted Brian, and they made the deal outside of eBay with, being able to talk Brian down from $100,000 to $80,000. This guy, he flew out to Boston, he paid Brian with a cashier's check, and he flew back then to LA with the phony paintings. Brian taking that check and depositing it right away. The art dealer swiftly realized the paintings were fakes, and there was no official stamps on them like there had been in the photos, and the pictures were not identical to the selling photos either. This art dealer then tried to contact Brian, of course, who, of course, went to ground immediately. He couldn't get through to Brian, so he called Brian's mother, and then he called Anna Walshe at her work phone number. They spoke, and then shortly afterwards, the art dealer received an email from Brian, which went a little something like this.
Oh, God.
Hello, thank you for calling my...
Hello, victim 1. Oh, fuck.
My wife. She said you were very kind and respectful, which is how I remembered you from our first interaction. What a smooth talker. Then Brian said, of course, hey, listen, I wasn't avoiding... I was not avoiding you. Get out of here with that. I was working a lot. Sorry, couldn't come to the phone at any time at all. So sorry, you couldn't get through to me. Listen, this is baloney. There's no need to get the lawyers involved, though. You know what I mean? If the paintings are fake, I'll refund you the money. I'll refund you the $80,000. And you can send me back those 2 paintings because there's been some kind of mix-up here. I need to investigate what's really going on here because I was full sure, they were the real ones, and I don't know. I need to check out what's going on. I think I got screwed here, really. I'm kind of the victim here. Of course, then you can guess what happened. No refund was issued at all. Every time this guy was like, hey, can I have my goddamn $80,000 back, please?
Right.
Brian would say, sorry, banks, for some reason, errors, I'll have to do it in multiple transactions.
I'd find him. I'd rip off both of his kneecaps and hang them on my wall.
Says none of this stuff is working, sorry. He ended up sending back $30,000, not 80, at which point the art dealer called the FBI. In April 2021, Brian pleaded guilty to several charges related to that. And during this whole process, Anna wrote a letter to the judge saying how great Brian was, and he was a good guy who made a mistake, and he shouldn't get into too much trouble. He would get house arrest, having to repay the money he stole, and during the time that Anna went missing, as he was still
What?
under house arrest at that time, he would have to have a pre-approved itinerary for when he went to different
Yeah.
places. By the way, Brian did at one point actually have the real Andy Warhol paintings. He did actually have them, or he had them. He had stolen them, or rather, I suppose I should say, he borrowed them from someone without returning them. Brian Walshe briefly attended Carnegie Mellon University, and there he made friends with another student who...
This guy's is one big ass piece of fuck. I know I got really quiet, but man, I was getting really into the story. So he did have some Andy Warhol paintings at one time, some actual, and then proceeded to use them to make counterfeit ones, which is completely illegal. Oh, excuse me. And then the paintings weren't even his. They were stolen to begin with. Like, this ball of fuck is one big old ball of fuck. Oh, good night, Irene.
was from South Korea. A couple of years then previous, Brian went to South Korea to visit him, and he saw that the student had the paintings. So Brian said to him, "Here, listen, they're probably worth a little bit. I can sell them for you. Sell them for you, make a little bit of money." And this guy said, "Okay, sure. Take them back to America with you, and we can make a bit of money together." Of course, as soon as Brian Walshe got back to America with the paintings, he went to ground completely, and this guy could not contact Brian at all. As you can guess, Brian sold the paintings himself without telling this guy or giving him any of the money. Now, when this all came out with the FBI investigating the fraudulent paintings and what actually happened to the real paintings, Brian gave the authorities information of where the actual real paintings were, but by that stage, he had sold them and they were out of the country. They were out of the United States, so they're not going to be getting them back. What a guy. In fact, looking at his LinkedIn,
they fucking gone, bro. Like, gone.
companies are most definitely bullshit. 10 Sales Consulting pops up literally nowhere on the web other than its incorporation site and doesn't list any directors or employees. Its listed agent is Harvard Business Services, Inc. That's like a company you'd work with to register your business in Delaware. A lot of people obviously want to register their businesses in Delaware for tax purposes. And when Brian got the 80 grand for selling the fake paintings, he put that money...
Why would you want to put your business in Delaware? Why? I'm not asking because I don't know. I'm asking because I don't know.
straight into 10 Sales Consulting. Like, it doesn't exist. It's not a real company. His other listed employer, Capital Letters Consulting, has a website at least. A website I'm pretty positive is fake because it lists almost nothing and nothing works. It even lists its fees, which is unusual, almost listing them in such a way as to dissuade people from contacting the company. So how did he live this big life? How did Anna not see through all this shite? He would host these extravagant affairs, dinners in Boston costing 20 grand, having everybody over, come on in. But when people would ask him how are you making money? He would tell them that he had created some kind of computer software in college and he was rich from that. So yeah, Brian Walshe is a giant piece of shit.
A giant piece of shit that just keeps lying. Oh my god. Then when you say he's Mr. Ballin, dude, I swear, dude was a pathological liar, and FBI was called in on him. There is a trend, people. There is a trend this week, and I didn't even know it. Oh shit!
And I haven't even got to I've just been talking about what led to. Remember Brian's dad, that prominent New England neurologist,
yes.
Dr. Thomas Walshe? Well, Brian's dad died in September 2018.
Aww.
And it would turn out that Brian and his dad had not spoken in 10 years before he died.
Damn.
The reason they did not have any relationship at all is because Brian was constantly stealing money from his own dad. Quite a lot of money. It amounted to about $1 million. And so his dad cut all ties with his son. When Brian's
would've.
father, Dr. Thomas, died,
I can't say I blame him. That's a fuck ton of money. Well, for me, that's a fuck ton of money.
he left zilch to Brian in his will, other than, quote, best wishes, but nothing from my estate. So you can imagine Scammer Brian was pretty pissed off about that.
Did he really put that in his will? Best wishes, but not a thing for my estate. If he did, oh my god. Oh. That was hilarious. It was. I'm sorry.
Kind of for a while, because 3 months after his dad died, Brian appointed himself as representative of his father's estate, and he destroyed the will. Then he went through his dad's shit, went through his house, sold everything that wasn't nailed down. Actually, even if it was nailed down, he would have sold it. And I'm talking like dolly paintings, ancient pottery, like real, collectors kind of shit. He took out all the money that was in his dad's bank account and then put up his dad's house, for sale. This led to a bitter dispute between Brian and his cousin, who said he was the rightful heir of Dr. Thomas's stuff. During this dispute, it allegedly came out that Brian had spent time in a psychiatric center and was diagnosed as a sociopath, which tracks.
Yeah.
Because only a sociopath would make these Google searches. December 27th.
What's the best state to divorce for a man?
2022. What's the best state to divorce for a man? New Hampshire, apparently.
There you go, man.
January 1st, 2023.
How long before a body starts to smell? 458. How to stop a body from decomposing? 520. How to embalm a body? 547. 10 ways to dispose of a dead body if you really need to. 6:25 a.m. How long for someone to be missing to inherit? 6:34. Can you throw away body parts? 9:29. What does formaldehyde do? 9:34. How long does DNA last? 9:59. Can identification be made on partial remains?
3. How long before a body starts to smell? How to stop a body from decomposing? 10 ways to dispose of a dead body if you really need to. How long for someone to be missing to inherit? Can you throw away body parts? What does formaldehyde do? How long does DNA last?
Can you throw away body parts? How long does DNA last? What does formaldehyde do? And what are the top 10 ways to dispose of a dead body if you really needed to? How do you embalm? Like, now I kind of want to know the answers to some of these questions. Dismemberment and the best ways to dispose of a body. Oh, God.
Fast. Can identification be made on partial remains? Dismemberment and the best ways to dispose of a body.
Oh.
How to clean blood from wooden floor. Luminol to detect blood. What happens when you put body parts in ammonia? Is it better to put crime scene clothes away or wash them? January 2nd, 2023. Hacksaw, best tool to dismember. Can you be charged with murder without a body? Can you identify a body with broken teeth? January 3rd, 2023. What happens to hair on a dead body? What is the rate of decomposition of a body found in a plastic bag compared to on a surface in the woods? Can baking soda mask or make a body smell good? These searches were made on his son's iPad. There's
What does baking soda do? Does it help with the freshness of a dead body? Oh. No. I kind of want to know the answer to each and every single one of those questions. Oh, God.
absolutely no evidence Anna Walsh left the house like he said she did.
Good afternoon. It's Brian Walsh. I hope all is going well. I was just reaching out to basically everybody I could. Anna hasn't been in touch for a few days. Do you know anyone that might have had contact with her? Calling everyone. So sorry to bother you. Sure, everything's fine.
Brian Walsh said that on the 1st of January, after he got up, after Anna left, after he made his kids breakfast, he said he did some grocery shopping, went to a few stores. CCTV did not back up his story at all. On the 2nd of January, he was seen going to a Home Depot and also a home goods store wearing a black surgical mask, blue surgical gloves, and paying for items in cash. What did he buy on the 2nd of January, I hear you ask? Well, how about some rugs? And $450 of cleaning equipment. It's a lot of money he's spending on clean. That's a lot of bleach. On the 3rd of January, he drove to a place called Abington, about 30 odd minutes southwest.
That is a lot of bleach, even for that good bleach that's like, smells good and, the thick stuff that don't splash and all that other shit. That's still a lot of money for some fucking bleach.
There he placed a big black heavy garbage bag into a dumpster. He traveled to at least one other dumpster to get rid of more items. Now, when the police learned of all this, unfortunately, too much time had passed. Those items that were placed in the dumpster, they had been incinerated. So, we can assume from those Google searches that just a couple of hours after their friend left, after celebrating New Year's ringing in 2023, he murdered Anna. The searches on the 1st of January about cleaning up the scene, how to dispose of a dead body, DNA, blood, and so on and so forth. Then on the next day, he tried to cut her up. Then on the 3rd of January, how to dispose of a decomposing dead body. Yeah, I mean, the police were onto him pretty quickly, though. His story sounded odd, and he didn't alert the police she was...
Oh, fuck. Why do people look up shit on their computers and their phones, man? Go to someone you don't like and look it up on their shit.
missing. Her employer did. I mean, come on. Her employer wasn't expecting her till the 3rd of January down in DC. There was no emergency. And when she didn't show on the 4th, that's when they called. In Brian's car, the police noticed that the back seats were down and there was a plastic liner in the back, like he was trying to avoid a leak. And they did recover some trash bags found near where his mother lived in Swampscott. Inside they found bloodstains, cleaning materials, a hacksaw, a hatchet, a purse, and
Police visited incinerator in Wareham in search of Anna Walsh. Is this at a recycling? Oh my god!
Boots that were Anna's, along with her COVID vaccine card. And when they searched the Walsh home, in the basement they found blood and a bloody knife. That was on the 8th of January, and it was when Brian was arrested.
We begin tonight with some breaking news. The husband of the missing Cohasset mom has been arrested for allegedly misleading a police investigation.
Initially, he was charged with misleading a police investigation, to which he pleaded not guilty. About a week later, he was charged with the murder of his wife.
I don't like his face. It looks like he's allergic to shellfish and he ate it anyways. Looks like he's got like an allergic reaction to something and he doesn't have an EpiPen. I don't like his face. I don't. It kind of just looks dead on the inside.
Life on the basis of the items
Oh, that's even fucking creepier. Don't smile. Don't smile. Please don't ever do that.
found, his story being bullshit, and the Google search is done. He again pleaded not guilty.
Some of the searches are as follows. Keep in mind that the defendant said he left at 6 a.m. At 4:55 a.m. on January 1st, he searched how long before a body starts to smell. At 4:58 a.m., how to stop a body from decomposing. At 5:20 a.m., he searched how to embalm a body. At 11:34 a.m., dismemberment and the best
Did he really shake his head? No, like, no, it didn't. That was autocorrect's fault.
ways to dispose of a body.
It would also be learned that back in 2014, so a year before they got married, Anna made a police report saying that Brian had threatened to kill her and her friend. Now this was down in DC, and the listed suspect lived in Boston, and was never named, though it was believed to be Brian. She never pressed anything, so it went nowhere. This goddamn toad with slicked back hair though, real son of a bitch. In 2018, she also posted this picture. Now, when friends asked, she said she slipped on a marble floor at work,
No.
but it's just not good. So why did he do this? If he indeed did it, I mean, hey, come
Because
on.
he's a piece of
You know,
shit.
innocent until proven guilty. Am I right? But did Anna learn of his whole bullshit life scams he was running?
I
Did
hope
she just have
so.
enough of it? You know, she was fed up and was like, "I'm out of here." To which he said, "No, you're not." Essentially, Anna learned that her husband was a scam artist of the highest order, and so she wanted a divorce. One of his searches was, "What's the best state to get a divorce in?" Was Massachusetts. She was a smart woman, you know. She had great education, a really good job. She must have known something was up.
Learning more about Anna Walsh's real estate portfolio as police investigate the missing Massachusetts mom's disappearance and murder. Walsh's husband is charged with her murder. Property records show she owned nearly $2 million worth of real estate.
Anna owned a number of properties.
I do have a question though. Can you be charged with murder without a body or without enough evidence to prove that that person would have to be dead? Like, I don't, how can I explain? Okay, say me and my friend get into a fight. I kill my friend, I stab him, they're dead. I take the body, dispose of it, no one ever finds it. It gets out that I did do it, but there's no proof. There's just their word against my word. So can they be like, we believe them, not you. We think he's right, that you did kill them. So no, we don't have a body. No, we don't know for sure because, you know, we don't have the body. We don't know how she died. We don't know if you did it. So isn't there also a thing like, say, we did. No, there's no body, but we also sprayed and there was blood covering all this area and it come back as their blood and there was so much of it that there's no way in hell that they could still be alive. Like that was every drop of blood that was in their body. So we know for a fact that they are dead. Can that still be a thing? Like I don't. Do you have to have the body?
In the area too, and some tenants reported that not long before she disappeared, she had asked them to move out when the agreement was up, and she was not her usual happy, cheery, friendly self. It appeared to them like she wanted the tenants to move out so she could sell, like maybe she wanted to get away.
Yeah.
She had a very successful career. She's probably making a lot of money. Brian, on the other hand, had nothing. He only had what he could scam out of people. So did he murder her to get her assets so he wouldn't be out on his ass, out on the street? Well, as we've seen in these sort of scenarios, it's probably exactly what happened.
Do we get
Mr.
an
Walsh,
insurance
okay?
stamps?
Mr. Walsh, can you hear us okay?
Yes, I can. Thank you.
Mr. Walsh, you remain held without bail of $500,000 on the other case. All set with us here today.
Thank you, Mr. Clerk. Thank you.
But until we know more, we just don't know. Well, we do know that Brian Walsh is a goddamn idiot. Thank you so
Yes.
much for watching. I really appreciate
Yes.
you watching this little video. We miss it. It really means a lot.
Thanks for having me, Mike. I always enjoy watching your videos, bud. We have fun. That's a fucked up story, though, bud. No lie. No lie. Like, I don't know how to feel about none of it. Like, did they ever find her body? Did they? I don't remember. There was so much shit going on. I don't think they did. Do they find a body? Is there ever going to be a body? Can he be charged with murder without a body? Like, don't you have to be able to prove that that person is actually dead in order to be charged with murder? Just because he made search history. I'm not defending him. I just really want to know. Like, this is the second video that has sent me down a fucked up rabbit hole. Yesterday's, now today's. I can't do it. I can't do it. Can't do it. Alright. If y'all enjoyed today's video as much as I did, please leave a thumbs up. If you are a fan of the spooky, scary, strange things that just fuck your whole day up because you don't know what's going on anymore, think about subscribing. I never know what's going on anymore, man. As always, together one another, I will see you. And you in the next one. Bye bye. I didn't like his face. I'm telling you, it really looked like he has like a severe allergic reaction to shellfish, and nobody told him no to the crab cakes. You know what I mean?